Hello, my dear students. A very warm welcome once again to the e-content learning of your LMS system. Today, in this session, I will discuss about cover letter. All of you will be shortly passing out of the college, and then you will be there in the job market. So, writing a good resume, then preparing a good cover letter is one very important job skill you must always think about. Coming to the necessity of the cover letter. Actually, why this cover letter is needed? That is the first question. Why do we need cover letter? Now, after preparing the resume, as I told you, resume in my previous session, I told something about resume. Resume means it is giving information about yourself in a brief and concise way. Resume actually is taken from a French word which means summary. The meaning of resume in French is called as summary. So, this is a summary of yourself. This is a summary of your personality as such. Your name, your address, your education, your qualification, and your work experience. All these points put together, you have made your resume ready. But we cannot just go and give the resume, by hand. The resume must have a letter which will first act as a kind of a formal letter with which you will carry your resume. So the cover letter is also as important as what you call crucial as much as your resume. Both are complementing each other. So cover letter should be prepared with due diligence. So what is the necessity of a cover letter? So actually it is the formal way of carrying your resume, because here you are addressing your employer that you had found the advertisement, the ad for a particular job, maybe in a newspaper, in a national newspaper, or in a state level or a local newspaper, or even you may find information online. So what you're trying to tell the employer is that you have found that he requires certain candidates for having particular skill to join his organization, to join his company. As a result of which, now you have made yourself, and probably you have equipped yourself with the necessary skills, your graduation skills, or any other supporting skills, maybe a set of skills which are very useful in procuring a job for you, is always welcome by the employer. So all that is fine. Now your resume is prepared, a very well tailored resume, and now you have to carry your resume along with the cover letter. So in this session we will go a little deeper into what is this cover letter all about. So cover letter, what is the specific purpose of the cover letter? So basically what it does is, the cover letter will introduce you to the prospective employer. Prospective employer means the person who is about to give you employment. Suppose you are applying for a job, say in Infosys or in a prestigious company. So, your cover letter will definitely carry a lot of weight. Because here you are trying to introduce yourself to the prospective employer. You're telling in brief about who you are, where do you come from, in which field have you graduated, and why the employer must feel or think that you are very capable of doing this job, or why you must be given this particular job. All right. So the cover letter is the first introduction to the prospective employer. That's the first thing. All right. Then the cover letter, what it does is it will introduce your resume. So your resume is given some voice by the cover letter, because the cover letter is very important. The cover letter actually is a kind of introducer to your resume. So how important the cover letter is, you can just understand by this. And look at this, it's also there. The cover letter will emphasize how you are best suited for the job. So why a person XYZ must be taken for a particular job. So that is mentioned in the cover letter. Suppose a person has to join as an office manager, as an accounts manager. So in the cover letter, if it is mentioned that you have graduated in commerce, you have specialization in income tax and accountancy and very important subjects in commerce, then probably you will definitely stand a better chance, because it shows that you are best suited for the job. So that's the advantage of having a cover letter. And in the cover letter, what you have to do is you should also try to focus on your positive personal traits. Here they mean some kind of the traits here means your personality, your qualities. That is the meaning of traits. So certain traits are very useful for your effective functioning, because these days more than your IQ, more than your intelligence quotient, we also have to think about emotional quotient and social quotient. So what does this emotional quotient mean? Emotional quotient here, it means your ability to get along with others in any social organization. If your EQ is very good, if your emotional quotient is satisfactory, then the employer will definitely be very eager to take you into the organization. Because these days what the employers generally need is people who are very effective in their presentation, then the staff which is very expressive and which is more participative. Such kind of job aspirants are more preferred than people who are introverted and isolate kind of job, personality traits. Because such kind of personality traits will definitely not be much helpful, when you're getting into any organization for any job. So that's the most important thing here. And why do we need cover letter? It's also another way to request, for an opportunity to be interviewed by the organization. So here, what happens? You're actually mentioning about your eagerness to meet the organization, and you're trying to get a particular opportunity and time to meet the organization. So that's the purpose of having this cover letter. So here what happens, now we look at the components or the structure of a cover letter. A good cover letter. What are the contents of a good cover letter? So here one basic thing you must know is a cover letter will not have too many paragraphs. It will not have too many paragraphs. So what is the ideal number of paragraphs in a cover letter? So what is your guess? Number of paragraphs in a cover letter? Just one, two, 20. So what could be the answer? Yes, if you have 4 to 5 paragraphs in a cover letter, that is ideal. That is more than sufficient. So now let us discuss about what each of these paragraphs must have, because that's important. Every paragraph will have a particular purpose. Now look at the very first paragraph. First paragraph, what it does is, this first paragraph, this should state your purpose of writing the cover letter, and it should give the details regarding the post you have applied for and where it was advertised. That means, what exactly is this? You're giving the details of the post you have applied for, and look at this, where it was advertised. For example, now you keep reading newspapers, or you have your email IDs. Then through newspaper, you may come to know that there is a vacancy for the job of an accountant in a multinational company. So where did you get this information, or where this job was advertised? So you might tell about that particular newspaper, where you found this, and the date when this advertisement was given. Okay, because that's the first thing the employer must know, or he must have an idea about what he had advertised, and is it the right person who has seen this advertisement correctly and applied. Because you may not apply for different jobs, and with different advertisements, because one advertisement, then if you are applying correctly for this, you have to tell where you came to know about this advertisement, through which newspaper, and when was it, what was the date, because these things only will first bring all the basic information to the mind of the employer. All right, so where you found this advertisement, and which post you are applying for, that's also very important. If you are applying for the post of accountant or manager or a teacher, You must be very clear about that, because what happens is, uh, sometimes you may not be eligible to apply for a job. So that is why you must be very clear about your eligibility and about what requirement has been raised in the advertisement. All right, that is the first paragraph in your cover letter, where you found information and for which job you are applying. And next is in the second paragraph, generally what you do is you have to state your qualification. Your qualification means your graduation degrees or whatever you have done, masters or graduation, okay, whatever is applicable. And in the second paragraph, you must also give reason of why you are suitable for the position that you have applied for, because this is very important. Suitability is very important here. Why? Because if people find that you are suitable for a particular position, then it is fine. Otherwise, uh, right away, the person may be ruled out of any particular job. And you must also mention like why you are interested in working for the company and what you can offer the company. That's important because you must always try to prove your interest and your eagerness to join the company. All right. Only then if the company is satisfied, if the company knows that you are serious and you are definitely having some stuff, only then the company will look forward to take you into the company. So in the second paragraph, what you need to do is you need to write about your qualification and why you are suitable for this job. Then going further, in the third paragraph, this is important because here you are mentioning your experience, work experience. Where did you work? Or whether you are a fresher, or whether you have had a little partial experience somewhere, because even working as a part-time worker also is kind of an experience that will also give some weightage to your resume. So in the third paragraph, what you need to do, write about your experience, and then about your skills, what kind of skill you have developed, because and these skills what you have, it is always a must that the skills must be highlighted. Highlighting the skills is very important because it should stand out, and then it should make you feel that you're special, you're someone who is extraordinary and who can be taken into the organization, into the company as such. So your experience should be written briefly, and then what kind of skills you have acquired. So this is very important because the mere graduation or just doing a degree will not be really useful. So along with the degree, if you have acquired certain amount of talent, skills, or doing any courses which are helpful for your entry into the job market, then certainly they will stand you in good stead. Otherwise, what happens most of the time, it is just like having a degree, and then having a degree merely won't do much these days. So, along with the degree, as I told you earlier, you must acquire a set of skills. All right. So, this is very important. So keep that in mind. Along with the degree, try to acquire some additional skills. And in the same paragraph, you also will write about your achievements, and you can also highlight the achievements in the section. So here what you can do is, you can explain how your strengths are there and what is the benefit of your strength to the company. So most of you will have something or the other, some talent, I mean, some talent and some kind of a positive trait you will definitely have. And probably what you must do is, you must try to put such very interesting things, so that the company will take a look at such things, and it will start noticing. And in the process, what happens, the company will definitely take some interest, and your chances of getting a job will definitely become higher, because you have definitely an edge over others. It is like all of us, most of us have qualifications and experiences, but something extra also you must have, some positive qualities. As I told you, these days we have to focus upon our social quotient and emotional quotient. All right. It is not just your knowledge that matters. Your IQ really doesn't matter much. Along with the IQ, other things such as emotional quotient (EQ) matters a lot in any organization. Why? Because your emotional quotient is very, very vital. It will show how well you can get along with people, whether you have any issues with people, or whether you can have good friendship, or whether you can maintain harmonious relationships. So these kind of things are all possible if your EQ is really good. And employers will always look for people with good EQ, because good EQ always is very beneficial for the efficient functioning of an organization. All right. So that's about the third paragraph. And coming to the fourth paragraph in your cover letter. So normally the fourth paragraph, that is the concluding paragraph in the cover letter. So what do you do in this fourth paragraph? You have to conclude now your cover letter by your what you are doing. You are trying to draw the attention of the employer about your interest in working with the company. So you are telling him that you are looking forward to join, you are eager to join, you are willing to join at the earliest. So all these things show that you are seriously thinking of joining the company. So this is the most important paragraph here, the fourth and last paragraph. And also what you must do is, you must mention that you have attached your resume with this cover letter. And this is very important, because the employer must know that your resume also is tagged or attached along with the cover letter. So the resume or the CV, for example, it will tell more about you, because the cover letter may not be very elaborate. The cover letter will definitely do a good job by giving a brief introduction about you. But the real story about you, the real picture about you, is known only through your resume or through the CV. And what normally you do in the fourth paragraph, that is the question. So you also have to mention that you are looking forward for a personal interview, like you want to have a personal interview, so that your eagerness is known to the employer. And then finally, it is very basic manners, a courtesy, that you have to thank your employer, prospective employer rather, and you have to definitely thank him, no doubt. And then you are mentioning that you are eagerly looking forward to hear from him. So this will show a certain amount of eagerness. Finally, about your inclination, your interest to join the organization. Why? Because you are trying to create a very positive impact with the cover letter. So, my dear friends, a good cover letter along with a very good resume has a very bright chance of securing a wonderful job for you. So keep all these things in mind when you are preparing yourself for the job market, because the world out there definitely has enough opportunities, but you have to be smart enough to catch hold of such opportunities. So always keep in mind that your cover letter must be very well structured. Don't make it very too big. Just have 4 to 5 brief and concise paragraphs, and try to be to the point. Don't keep on writing too much, which may not be of any use. In securing a job for you. So try to be brief, concise, and to the point. Don't keep beating around the bush. All right. So what you need to do is update your resume, prepare your resume first, and then update. And then whenever you come across advertisements, and when you are eager to join or to apply for a job in a particular organization, always make it a point to apply, and definitely one or the other day you will get success in your life. So on this positive note, I will conclude this session on the importance of cover letter. Thank you, friends.